Hello people of the internet, I'm the man with a plan, and welcome to the first in 2 weeks of NFL related videos. I apologize that I was supposed to upload this yesterday, but I just simply didn't get around to it, and then the video file got deleted, so anyway, here we go. Without further ado, let's get into it. Top 10 worst NFL plays of all time, in my opinion. Number 10. The Seattle Seahawks passed on the 1 yard line against the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 49. This play doesn't really have a name, but it should. Regardless, here's what happened. In Super Bowl 49, with less than a minute to play, the Seahawks needed a miracle play to get well within touchdown range for Russell Wilson and his men. And it seemed like they had their answer when they got first and goal on the 4 yard line when Jermaine Kearse caught a miracle pass from Russell Wilson. After running it 3 yards with Marshawn Lynch, aka Beast Mode, in their backfield, the Seahawks then decided to throw the ball. This made very little sense, but oh well, what could be the worst thing that could happen? How about little-known Patriots defensive back Malcolm Butler? Indeed, it was Butler who picked off the pass from Russell Wilson, sealing the deal for New England and earning Tom Brady his 4th Super Bowl ring. Pete Carroll was largely to blame for this play, but can you be honest and say the execution wasn't that great either? Because I don't think it was. I mean, sure, it was a bad call, but bad execution too. Everything about this play bad, so you wonder why it's so low down on the list? Well, that should be an indicator of what's to come. Number 9. Aaron Brooks' backward pass. This play really doesn't require a lot of explaining. New Orleans Saints quarterback in a 2004 game against the San Diego Chargers decides the best place to throw the ball is behind him. Yeah. Okay, good luck with that, Aaron. Number 8. Tony Romo's botched snap in the 2006 NFC wildcard round. This is a play that pretty much cost Tony Romo his reputation as a good quarterback and earned him a reputation as a choker and someone who can win big games. Here's what happened. In a game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks, the Seahawks held a narrow 1-point lead, and it was 4th and goal for the Cowboys with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. The Cowboys needed to score, so they were just going to kick over a field goal and try and hold out for the rest of the game, which shouldn't be too long. Or so that was the plan. Tony Romo had other ideas. He just couldn't hold on to the snap and decided that he had to run it in for a touchdown. This didn't work as the Seahawks managed to stop Tony Romo at the 1 yard line, costing the Cowboys their postseason, and because of that, well, the Cowboys only had one trip to the divisional round in the Tony Romo era, which isn't that great for a quarterback. But Tony is only so low down on our list. And speaking of botched field goals in the wildcard round against the Seattle Seahawks, here comes Blair Walsh for the Minnesota Vikings. In a game where there was 13 seconds left on the clock and the Vikings were well within field goal range to take a 1-point lead over the Seahawks and pretty much seal their place in the NFC divisional round, Blair Walsh had other ideas. The snap was good, the holding was good, the blocking was good. Blair Walsh, no good. Yeah, that's right, he missed from 25 yards out, which, if you don't know, is the distance that a kicker takes an extra point from. Oh dear. Well, Blair Walsh, once again, he's only so low down on our list, but you have to say that's pretty terrible. Number 6. Leon Lett's Super Bowl fumble. Some people might question the fact that this is so high up on the list, but I have to put it here, as this is just a prime example of what happens when a player gets too cocky in the NFL. In a Super Bowl matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys were well on their way to a Super Bowl victory. And maybe Leon let this get to his head a little too much. After the Cowboys' defensive tackle managed to scoop up a fumble and ran his way to the end zone, he thought he was already there before he got to the 10-yard line. And so he held the ball out in front of him just to peek it past the end zone. But Don Beebe had other ideas. The Bills player managed to knock it out of Lett's hands, resulting in a touchback for the Buffalo Bills. However, this wasn't the last we would see of Leon Lett making fuck-ups in big games. Indeed, here comes Leon Lett, and this is possibly his biggest fuck-up of all time. You might wonder how he's on this list twice, and he's still somehow a 2-time Super Bowl winner. But, I don't know, it's a mystery to me too. Here's what happened. It was a Thanksgiving game, so a lot of people were watching as the Miami Dolphins headed to snow-covered Dallas to play a game in the regular season. The ice made it very slippery on the pitch, But it came down to a 41-yard field goal in the dying seconds for Pete Stoyanovich, the Miami Dolphins kicker. The Dallas Cowboys held strong and managed to block the kick. So what this meant was that all the Cowboys would have to do was just stand around and do nothing, while the ball just rolled around at the 10-yard line, and there was nothing the Miami Dolphins could do. No one told Leon Lett that, though. Indeed, the clumsy Cowboys defensive tackle managed to slide his way in and knock the ball forward to the 1-yard line, where the Dolphins recovered it and set up a 3-yard field goal. This time, Stoyanovich made no mistake. The game was won by the Dolphins, and Leon Lett still somehow kept his job as a defensive tackle and went on to win the Super Bowl with the Cowboys that season. Well, that's quite a story, I guess. What do you think Leon Lett remembers more from that season? Number 4, the butt fumble. This aptly named play is when Mark Sanchez, the at-the-time quarterback for the New York Jets, decided that the best place to run was straight into the ass of his own offensive guard. Now this would be bad enough, but it was made worse by the fact that Sanchez lost the ball on contact and was picked up by the Patriots defense, who managed to run it back for a touchdown. Poor Mark. Nowadays, he's just the third-string quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, Griff Whalen's gaffe. Okay, so most of the plays here, you could just say they were bad plays. There was something wrong. Poor execution, maybe. Or how about there was just one spanner in the works that prevented everything from working? Or maybe just a loss of concentration. Well, what about this? Look at that. That doesn't even look like a formation. What the hell happened here? Well, I'll tell you. The idea was to try and catch the Patriots with too many men on the pitch. It made it look like the Colts were bringing back out their offense, and so they would snap the ball when there were 12 Patriots on the pitch as special teams and the defense were swapping over. It didn't work, so the next plan was to try and catch the Patriots offside. And when that didn't work, Griff Whalen snapped the ball in a panic straight back to Colt Anderson, who was smothered by 10 Patriots players almost immediately. This bizarre play managed to cost the Colts a crucial regular season game against the New England Patriots, which many can trace back to the reason why they're not in the playoffs. Oh, poor Colts. Number 2, the miracle at the Meadowlands. This isn't so much the miracle at the Meadowlands as it is the blunder at the Meadowlands. The New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles, two of the biggest rivals in NFL history, were playing a divisional game in 1978. Well, it wasn't really a divisional game, but, the winner was going through and the loser was going out, so it felt like one. Anyway, the Giants had the ball with 12 seconds remaining on the clock. They had the lead too, which meant all they had to do was kneel down, and that would be the game over. The Eagles had no timeouts, and so the Giants looked like they were on their way to the playoffs. Or, they looked like they were on their way. Unfortunately, the Giants thought they had a better idea than just simply kneeling down with the football safe and sound. No, the offensive coordinator said to Joe Pisarcik, the quarterback, that they should try and run a play. Unfortunately, he didn't tell anyone else that. The running back ran straight into Pisarcik's arms, knocked the ball out of his hands, and as it fell to the side of the offensive line, the Eagles picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown. To Eagles fans, yes, this is the miracle at the Meadowlands. But for Giants fans, this is the nightmare at the Meadowlands. But it might be a blessing in disguise, as all of the offensive staff was fired the next day, and replaced with a new breath of fresh air for the Giants, which sparked the 80s, in which the Giants won 2 Super Bowls. Aside from that, let's move on to number 1. Jim Marshall's Wrong Way Run. I'm not even going to say anything, just look at this.
Looking, now stops, throws, completes it to Kilmer up at the 30-yard line. Kilmer driving for the first down, loses the football. It's picked up by Jim Marshall, who's running the wrong way. Marshall is running the wrong way, and he's running it into the end zone the wrong way, thinks he scored a touchdown. He has scored a safety. His teammates were running along the far side of the field, Russ, trying to tell him to go back.
So, did you enjoy that list, guys? Well, thanks for watching anyway, and I've been the man with a plan. So if you like this video, please like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.